Here we have a word problem, and what I'd like you to do is just go ahead and pause the video and see if you can work it out yourself, because you may have a completely different way of working it that works perfectly for you. Once you finish, go ahead and press play, watch the video, and see if you can get at the same answer that I get working the way that I think through the problem. Now, when I'm solving a problem that's a word problem, the first thing I do is read the question to kind of get an understanding of what it's asking me to do. So, one wall inside a shoe store is used to display walking shoes and running shoes. There are 135 pairs of shoes in this display. There are 1.5 times as many pairs of walking shoes as there are running shoes on the display. How many pairs of walking shoes and running shoes are on the display? So after I read the question or the problem, then the first thing I want to do is try to find out what's the question asking me to do. So I'll look for the question mark and the question. It says how many pairs of walking shoes and running shoes are on the display. So I'm going to go ahead and underline that. So I'm looking for the number of walking shoes and the number of running shoes. So number of walking and number of running. Put a question mark next to each one of those because I'm not quite sure how many of each. Once I have the question, I read back through the problem to see if I can find some information that'll help me answer those questions or that question. One wall inside a shoe store is used to display walking shoes and running shoes. There are 135 pairs of shoes on the display. That tells me the total of walking plus running shoes is equal to 135. And the reason I know that is because it says 135 shoes in the display. And it didn't tell me which type in particular, so that leads me to believe that it's the walking and running shoes together that creates 135 total. Next, I know there are 1.5 times as many pairs of walking as there are running shoes on the display. So that means that whatever 1.5 many times pairs of walking as there are running. So whatever running shoes I get, I'm going to multiply that by 1.5 to get the walking. So run times 1.5 equals the walking. And read that again just to make absolutely sure. There are 1.5 times as many pairs of walking shoes as there are running shoes. So yeah, that means I take the running shoes and multiply by 1.5 times, and that'll give me the number of walking shoes. Alright, so I could set up a system of equations and graph or do elimination substitution or system using matrices, but it gives me answer choices. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to guess and check. And the first way I'm going to guess and check is I know the total needs to be 135. So I'm going to add up each of these to see if they all equal 135 and see if I can eliminate some answer choices. So here we go. I've got my calculator on and turn it on. I'm going to clear that screen and let's do 90 plus 45. So 90 walking plus 45 running. Yep, that's 135. So A may be it, may not be it. Let's try B. 54 plus 81. Okay, that's 135. Let's try C. 45 plus 90. Yep, that's 135. And D. 81 plus 54. And that's 135 as well. So that first bit of information really doesn't help us much at all. The next bit is, well, there's 1.5 times as many walking as are running. So if I take the running shoes and multiply by 1.5, I should get the number of walking shoes. Let's try that. One answer choice at a time. Sorry, my calculator keeps on bouncing to the other side. Okay, so 45 running shoes. So if I go 45 times 1.5, I get 67. Well, that can't be A then, because it says 90. Let's try 81 pairs of running. So 81 times 1.5, I get 100. Nope, can't be that one either, because that says 54. All right, let's try C, 90 pairs. So 90 times 1.5, 135. No, we want 45 walking. That's not going to work either. Okay, D, 54. So hopefully, fingers crossed, times 1.5 equals 81. Yes, 81 plus 54. And there are 1.5 times as many walking as there are running shoes. So D must be the correct answer choice.